Hi everyone, welcome to a commentary for a game that happened in Total War League Season 21. This is actually Div 2, but apparently it was a pretty close game, and it did seem like that from the screenshot. So, people asked for the coverage, and I granted it as of now. So anyway, it's Ardiaei versus Egyptian Kingdom, and I'm just going to tab out real quick to see how that's actually possible to get as a matchup. They are in... Okay, they're in Pool 3. Armenia, Iceni, Syracuse, Tylis, Epirus, Carthage, Egypt, Massaili, Ardiaei, Colchis, ODK. So, I'm not sure how you'd ever get there, because even if Iceni, Armenia, Tylis, and, Massaili are banned out, then Carthage, Carthage, Colchis, Syracuse, maybe, Epirus for sure, certainly all seem like better picks. So I'm not sure how they ever got here. And so that's an uh, interesting thing, but it's a fairly interesting matchup. I'm not sure how I consider this. I guess I would probably favor Ardiaei here, only because I think they can just spam infantry and maybe win. Yeah, I think that's probably true. And the hoplites actually might be a pretty decent counter to the nobles. But anyway, it should still be interesting, so let's get right into it. And a bit of interesting army picks as well, like 2 XP Thracian warriors, kind of crazy. Surely we could do something better than that. Some bowmen and slingers, fine. 4 Javcav, yeah, probably expected. So yeah, this looks like true Thracian nobles, 5 Thracian warriors, and maybe a Falksman. 2. Okay, 6 Thracian warriors. I didn't even know that was a lot. Maybe it is not a lot. But anyway, 4 Thracian horsemen, and yeah, the 2 bowmen and the slinger with the 1 Thracian warcav and the 4 Javcav. So fairly fairly strong in terms of melee, but these guys just don't have much staying power. Ardiaei, on the other hand, has a lot of staying power, but they are going to be lacking, well, killing power and support. Although I wouldn't say this army has much support. I mean, these Thracian horsemen seem like a bad pick, only because I don't see what they're ever going to do. Like, maybe I would take, like, 2 of them and the gen. But Ardiaei faction is lacking in cavalry and is very good against cavalry with all the spearmen and javelins and stuff, so not sure that these guys will ever get any value, really. Like, yeah, you might want them to counter the Illyrian cav. I think that's fine. But, outside of that, I don't see how they're really going to be doing very much. I mean, Illyrian cav are already very bad. You have the general already very, going to be kind of untouchable, as long as he doesn't get shot by javs. But yeah, okay, so let's see the army for Ardiaei. He's got 4 axe warriors, makes a lot of sense. 4 marines, 4 noble hoplites, 3 slingers, and 2 Illyrian cav and 3 Tarentines. So this is the very standard Ardiaei army. Again, I'm not sure that I would take this, but maybe I would. I mean, the 3 slingers are good because they can trade down. Obviously, they can shoot down Thracian warriors and nobles even. But I'm not sure I would go for this many marines because again, you don't. Are you really threatened by cavalry by ODK? I would say not. Marines gonna get some good javelins here. Thracian cav taking a bit more damage than the Tarentine so far, but nothing significant. And yeah, the slingers will nicely trade and they'll actually win against the Thracian bowmen and the Thracian slingers. So they do it. These guys have 50% block chance. These guys do not. So that's the reasoning there. And 50% block chance against bows, very effective as well. But then you just need to tank essentially against the infantry rush, and you have more infantry. I mean, there's 8 infantry on the field for ODK, but there is 12 for Ardiaei, and yeah, Marines are not great, but they will do something against units that have already charged, especially like Thracian warriors. They will fuck them up if the Thracian warriors don't get a charge. So yeah, if the Thracian nobles get countered by hoplites and javelins and stuff, then I don't see much of a threat. And you don't even need to javelin the Thracian nobles. Like, obviously that's ideal, but a good player won't let you do that. But even if you just javelin the crap out of these Thracian warriors, that's like enough value here. Nice volley there. But again, even these javelins are very useful. He's just gonna charge. Oh, he's not gonna charge. Okay, but now he's gonna eat this volley in the back and probably lose about 6 or 7 guys here, I would say. Okay, he was a little further away. I thought he was gonna eat it right when he was here. But okay. Getting some nice javelins on the Thracian warriors, threatening to charge these bowmen, but not committing for it. Now these Thracian cav are gonna get another nice volley on the Terrantines. The Terrantines getting weak is bad. The Terrantines should always remain really, really healthy. It's not worth taking these risks. Like, I would maybe run up one time, and if he's going to shoot you with the bowman, like, your slingers are already winning this engagement, so you don't really need to go after the bowman anyway. You want to keep the Terrantines very, very healthy for the late game, where they just nuke with the mass against the low HP units. Yeah, Ardiaei could also just walk up here and just javelin the infantry, like, with the Marines, right? Force them to commit forward. Nice, like, these javelins are good. Not going to commit here, it's not worth it, but just taking these javelins is not, or these arrows not great. Crazy charge. I would never take this charge. I mean, Thracian warriors are pretty good against Cav. And, you know, the Illyrian Cav are only medium, so they're not going to do too much on the charge. But they're going to safely retreat here. And, okay, counter charge, yeah, another good timing here. Actually going to catch these guys, but the attack is coming in. A bit piecemeal, but it is coming. Yeah, these Thracian warriors have lost quite a bit already. Overall, so that's good for the start of Ardiaei. This engagement will be nice to kill some cav, but these noble hoplites shouldn't really, like, this charge was not very good, right? It was mostly into the cav. Noble hoplites should just cook here. And actually, nice flanking javelins here. Here, on the other hand, though, getting a counter charge is not the play for the noble hoplites. They want to just absorb the charge and use the ECE to their favor. But these Thracian nobles are going to rack up a bunch of kills on expensive units, so that's really nice. Nice Pila here, just taking out an entire Thracian warrior. Like to see that. Don't need to shoot them anymore, they're pretty much dead. Now you just need to focus on killing these light units, or focus the Thracian nobles, but it's much easier to just kill the Thracian warriors, I find. And yeah, again, these guys are just getting baited into a kill box here. But they are actually getting in pretty nice, so they're getting a good charge here. Oh, last second turns away. No, okay, well, this Thracian warrior is just dead. So I fail to see how Ardiaei is not just very good here. Well, this will be a nice charge into the back of these noble hoplites. And the flank will be a little bit weak. But again, Ardiaei just has so many resources to defend, and Thrace doesn't have them because they have all these crappy Thracian horsemen that are just gonna die. But if they start to eventually kill off the Illyrian Cav, then maybe there's something in this fight. Thracian warriors just losing to Axe warriors if they didn't get a charge. On the flank here, yeah, Thracian warriors. Well, this Thracian warrior actually got in, but one already died here, so it's not great. Thracian Cav is behind. Could do something. The general is a big threat, though. Because you can't use your peel on everything. You can't peel the Thracian warriors and the nobles and the generals. The general might get in a good fight here. Gonna kill off these Terrantines, and support is forthcoming, but again, the Thracian World Cup can just insta-kill pretty much anything here. So you don't want to overextend. Like here, these guys need to just continue to box. That's all Thrace or Ardiaei needs to do, is just box around the main fight. Eventually, okay, like these Thracian nobles have used their charge, the general needs to engage here and just kill off these nobles, because without the charge, the nobles are very, very bad. Same thing here, these nobles committed, noble hoplites need to get in here and finish them off. Over here, 93 Thracian warriors shouldn't win against both of these, because again, use the charge, just collapse with another unit, and you can see that there's not that many units left on the side of Thrace. They do have their slingers though, and the Thracian slinger, or the slave slingers, are not going to live because there's just so much cav for ODK. So they will get the slingers, and these bowmen and slingers pretty healthy, haven't been completely destroyed. So they'll be able to do some damage late game, but of course Ardiaei also a faction that has a lot of armor. And there is quite a bit of cav left for Ardiaei, so Beluga's done a good job keeping his cav force alive. Actually, all of his units are alive. But this one is going to be weak. This one could die at any moment, and there just were more cav to start with for Thrace. So yeah, but it's an important time for these guys to just get in here. They're just sitting here doing nothing. This is not ideal. Don't let these guys completely die. Just engage before these guys can get another charge. So these guys are doing that here, and these Thracian nobles are already dead. So very nice. But the general does need to commit here and kill off this other Thracian noble, and then at that point it will be kind of all good. But yeah, these flank fights are not good. Anywhere where you're far away, of course, the cav advantage for Thrace means they can get more reserves into the fight. Also, wasting Pila here. You don't need to waste Pila on the Thracian horseman. Just save it for the high value units. Okay, so he's going to surround this Thracian noble and should die as well. So things are looking good for Ardiaei here. But there are, you know, a good amount of units getting into these fights. Thracian warrior will rack up a bunch of kills in the charge. No need for these Terrantines to be doing this. These guys, the Terrantines just need to remain healthy the whole game. Illyrian Cav should definitely go for the slingers here. This is a definite misplay. This actually might be the play that loses you the game. These guys will insta-route to charges because they're already weak. No need to charge into Thracian nobles. You don't want to get Cav mixed up with Thracian units. Like, okay, maybe heavy Cav charging into the Thracian warriors is fine, but these, like, charges from these Terrantines and this charge here is just suicide. When these light units free kills. You can kill all 3 of these units with that 1 cav, and then you're in really good shape. And these fights on the flank, again, are sort of misguided as well, because again, just the cav allows for the maneuverability to bring support into these fights. Slingers will go down again, that's not really a huge problem, as that was expected. Of course, you want to get as much utility out of them as possible, defend them for as long as possible. But of course, ODK is going to want to take the attack because they know they can kill the slingers. And these Terrantines not being healthy is a big problem, because now these Thracian cav actually just destroy them, because the Terrantines only win against the Thracian cav or like other Barbarian Jav cav on the charge with their mass, right? So if they're very weak, and in small numbers, they don't do as much impact damage, and the melee fight will go very well for the Thracian cav here. So that's a big problem, and these slingers are still alive. Infantry will be going down though. I mean, the Thracian nobles, you can see, are going to start to drop very quickly here, losing a couple men every second. Nice javelin volley, actually, point blank on the gen. The gen is yellow, but I think yellow morale, but I think he's actually fine here. Oh, he is facing backwards to the Thracian nobles, so that's a problem. That is a big problem. He needs to re-click the attack order on the gen there. And now things are starting to open up with this cav. And again, he never really got, Beluga never really got into these Thracian warriors, just killed them off quickly. And now, okay, one noble hoplite helping out in the cav fight. These units did win pretty decisively, but there is healthy cav, the general, again, a very dangerous cav unit. And now the cav is dead, again, because he wasted Beluga wasted them trying to kill the infantry. Now these archers actually pose a real threat and actually can definitely win the game, because now you have a cav and archer endgame against infantry, which in general you would like to be the cav and archer player. Of course, that depends on the numbers and stuff, but with no way to kill these archers, and the general potentially going to die as well, morale will be an issue. The Thracian nobles holding on very nicely as well, with the nice support from these units. Now, of course, the Thracian cav aren't going to get many kills on the charge against nobles and stuff, but this chaos has allowed these Thracian warriors to get a couple of cycle charges, and just simply get a little bit of extra value. The general can get back into the fight whenever, and I mean, right now it's just time to shoot for final revenge here. He's just going to get back shots only. You probably do want to shoot down the noble hoplites first, because these other units can die to the cav, but the noble hoplites kind of can't as easily. Another nice charge from these Thracian cav. They're actually starting to rack up kills pretty efficiently. A few more infantry units are going to get back here, but this is just a situation that you pretty much know you're going to win, because these units haven't used that much ammo. They've used, probably like maybe even 3/4, half to 3/4, I would bet. But these units are so depleted, and you have so much cav, and you have 3 units here, that if you can just snipe some of the units here, like especially the noble hoplite, these other units are so depleted. 48, 66, 58, 70, okay, 115 on the marine, and the noble hoplite 60, that hopefully your cav can finish them off. And you're going to get really good shots while your infantry is still alive. Just pure back shots. And the general is going to be dead, so all these things combined can be quite devastating. That being said, the infantry did win. Now you just have to face down the archers here. Nice dodge, actually. I mean, no point, and this is a situation where you never ever chase. You have infantry, you're never going to catch these archers. That's literally just not possible by the laws of speed of the units. So you never want to get more tired. Winded, active, active. We're in a good stamina situation here. If we chase them, we get more tired, and we route easier. So we don't want to chase here. Just want to sit here and absorb. But, I mean, you might lose the game. But that's your own fault for not finishing these units off, right? I mean, you just have to accept these losses. And yeah, I can already tell, of course, this general is going to be just too devastated with all this cav. The morale issues as well. If you didn't have morale, if everyone had perfect morale, and these guys run out of ammo pretty soon, I could see that these noble hoplites and the 115 man marine just win this battle, win this fight again. These units aren't going to get too much value on the charge, but they will get some. But with morale, these guys will inflict rear charge penalties, and that will be more than enough to win the game. So now, I mean, again, this is just a mistake. At one point, do you realize this mistake is the question? Actually, I had a few javelins there, but okay, we're not realizing it's a mistake. And now, yes, now things get isolated, and now your one most important unit here is going to essentially die or lose extra men for nothing. The general's very healthy. These guys are just going to get shot in the back. And now we're just more and more tired, and again, isolated unit just going to die. And now any chance that we had of holding this is pretty much over. And these guys are out of ammo. The slinger is out of ammo. That's important. Archer should be low on ammo. But the slinger being out of ammo should suggest that, yeah, the ammo is going to be very limited here. But again, you've already given up a ton of extra kills that you didn't need to. Like basically for free. And the noble hoplite, it's going to sustain itself for now. but there's just not much left. This 115 man Marine unit is nice, but again, now these guys will also be valuable after. And again, these guys aren't fighting at their maximum efficiency. Very tired. Remember when when over here they were all winded, or not even winded, active, and like one unit was winded? Now they're all tired and very tired. At active, they're not, they're fighting at full strength. We accomplished absolutely nothing by chasing these archers, and now our shit is tired, so these guys, which are uh, fresh essentially, are going to be doing more damage because we're not fighting at full capacity. So that's like the classic blunder. You just never chase the archers unless you have any hope. If you have no hope of catching them, like what do you expect to happen? Like you're just gonna run away, isolate your units, get you tired. That's exactly what they want. So yeah, here come the Thracian Cav again. They're not really getting any kills, but the morale penalty might be enough to rout this axe warrior. That's 35 men less that you need to kill. Not really losing that much Thracian Cav either. Last few volleys coming in, 33. Looks like they should stabilize, but very tired. They might just rout now. Okay, they do stabilize. But again, just chasing for no reason. Units are isolated. This is hopeless. Slinger out of ammo, so it could be used as a hammer. For a hammer and anvil here. And, every little unit is going to matter here. These guys are all pretty depleted, but this general doesn't really seem like it can be stopped at this point. Again, you have to face face the charge. Just halt at least. So you can see he did actually do a good job of blocking this charge with the extra charge defense there. But absolutely devastating charge. These guys are not getting up. Every charge. Yeah, the general can almost win this by himself, but I mean, this unit's pretty big as you mean, but again, it's very tired, so it's just useless. It's a little useless. Slingers, yeah. These guys still have ammo. Shoot the axe warrior. I think that's not the unit I would shoot. You want to shoot the health units just to deplete their health. Like, you'll get a lot of kills, but these guys weren't going to do anything anyway. These guys still have ammo as well. But I mean, at what point do you realize that you've made a mistake by chasing? Like, you haven't killed a single man of the archer units, and you're going to continue chasing. It just makes no sense. Like, you gotta recognize the situation. And now we were all exhausted. Like, we were fresh and now we're exhausted, and we killed nothing, and we isolated our units, and they got a bunch of free kills. Like, these guys wouldn't rout if they were fresh, right? But now they are going to, of course, rout. And, I mean, I think actually a mass rout is probably the more likely situation, not even having to end the game. And yeah, another isolated unit just gonna get plowed by the gen, who's just now racking up insane kills. Not really under any duress. And yeah, again, now these units are just gonna mass rout. And yeah, I think it was a winning situation either way for Thrace, but certainly made easier by the fact that that these units got very tired. And now this last Marine probably just breaks before it even has to fight. Okay, no, it is gonna fight till the last man. Nice. But it's just gonna rout. And yeah, nice win for ODK. Yeah, Thracian Nobles actually got a lot of value. Disregard the chevrons on these guys, obviously, but a couple of them did well, 3 of them, and then 3 of them did shit. But I feel like 3 of your Thracian warriors getting sub 30 kills, or like essentially 30 kills, should be enough to lose the game instantly for Thrace, because like the Cav isn't gonna do anything besides kill the slingers. You have all these infantry. Your slingers and your Cav should hopefully trade off their slingers and archers. At that point, it's just completely winning. But yeah, I'm getting a little too overzealous and not thinking about the win condition. Like, the win condition was not to help the Cav the Cav to kill the infantry of Thrace. Like, Thrace's infantry was gonna die to your infantry as Ardiaei, so you just need to kill the archers and keep your Cav healthy to do as much damage to the enemy Cav as possible, and also get the archers. If those two things are satisfied, or defend your own archers, right? And then your slingers can kill their slingers. But if the archers get to live to the late game, and the Cav is wasted, so the Cav for ODK is healthy enough, then yeah, this is what can happen. You can get into a losing endgame. Now, I think this matchup in general, I would say it's just pretty heavily favored for Ardiaei, though. I mean, I would probably take the army that was taken here. I mean, trying to think I mean. I think I like the slingers just to do some damage to their slingers. If you get kited by ODK, like, I don't think it's a huge threat, so you're not going to bring more Cav or more slingers. Obviously you need to be ready to kill the infantry. I think the only thing I could say is, like, maybe the play is just to go Celtics. But then you have extra money and you don't have much to do with it, so I mean, you could do something like this, honestly. I could see this being good as well. But I think the army taken was totally fine. On the side of ODK, I think you just have problems everywhere. I mean, I wouldn't take this army. I definitely wouldn't. I would take the general, and I would take the 4 Javcav for sure. Maybe I would take 2 Thracian horsemen, but think about Ardiaei. They're always going to have 2 Illyrian Cav and 3 Terrantines. They cannot get more Terrantines physically, so you're always going to have 1 more Jav Cav. And the more Cav they take, just like a waste, because their Cav is trash. And you have Thrace, which kills Cav pretty effectively. So I think taking like this much Cav is probably good. Like your Thracian horsemen are just going to be there to eventually suicide for the Slingers, or kill the Terrantines. You have 4v3 Jav Cav, okay, so we're kind of good there. Archer Slingers, yeah, I'm going to take some eventually. I mean, I would also consider Peltis, but maybe in this matchup Peltis are not great. And then, well, Thracian Nobles, yeah, I mean, maybe 3. I mean, let's see, 4 for these guys. I guess I could get 5 technically. Get 8. And now, I don't know, like 2 Peltis and 3 Slingers, is that possible? No, not quite. But I could just replace these guys with Faults. That's fine. Yeah, I think this is something like I would take this. Because now I have 3 Thracian Nobles, so I can do a little more damage in the infantry fight. I have good potential for the Slingers to win in the late game, or maybe I could take Archers here, it doesn't really matter. Depends what you think is best. But these Thracian Peltis will help a bit because they can just act as melee units in the late game. Like they can just Pila or Javelin, whatever unit, and then just like they are good in melee, so you get a little more melee power, which you will need because some of these guys are just going to do literally nothing because they're going to get shot, and there's nothing you can do about that against Ardiaei. And then you have some Cav to do stuff. I think this makes a decent amount of sense. Again, I don't think you're gonna win most of the time, but these Thracian nobles get into good fights on the flanks. Like the Thracian nobles, you want to get into fights against their axes and their and their earlier Marines. You don't really want to get against the nobles unless you can get a clean charge and they don't countercharge you. If they don't countercharge you, I feel like actually the nobles will probably still do pretty well, but yeah, you don't want to give the nobles hoplites a chance to get into expert charge defense and do some damage back. But of course, you kind of just have to rush as ODK because you're gonna get shot the whole game, and it's just gonna be hard. But if you can collapse well, the general is a huge threat. Just kill Cav and get into your rear lines and do damage. The Thracian Horsemen can do enough to just kill stuff, and then you have the 4v3 Jav Cav. There is potential here. Again, I don't think it's really that hard for Ardiaei to win this, but again, that's why you play the games, and mistakes happened, and yeah, Final Revenge I think played it pretty well. He got his Thracian nobles in to do max damage. He used his Cav to create chaos to allow his Thracian warriors to get additional like charges and just do more damage. And then yeah, he was able to win the end game where he was certainly favored, but didn't rush anything. Just let the enemy get tired, use the general effectively against isolated units, and and won a good game. So yeah, pretty interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.